The planet Yalara 7 was a harsh place. Its surface was jagged and filled with sharp rock formations, and the skies glowed faintly green from the planet's unusual atmosphere. Humanity had been sending reconnaissance teams for years, searching for alien technology that could advance their understanding of the universe. Few had returned with anything significant, and many had been lost to the planet's treacherous terrain or mysterious traps left behind by an unknown alien civilization. Captain Jason Mercer led one of the newest missions. He was a tall, strong man in his early 30s with sharp eyes and a calm mind. He had seen many battles and had faced countless dangers, but nothing had prepared him for the rumors surrounding the container buried deep in the ruins of an alien research facility. The container was said to hold something extraordinary, a reward that could turn the tide in humanity's favor. No one knew exactly what it contained, but that mystery was enough to push Jason and his team forward. The squad approached the ruins cautiously. The structure was partially collapsed with jagged metal beams and scorched walls. Strange, glowing symbols ran across the surfaces of the building, and Jason could feel the weight of history pressing down on him. He signaled his team to spread out, their boots crunching against the rocky ground. "Stay alert," Jason whispered. "We don't know what's left behind here." The squad moved in silence, each step careful. They passed walls lined with alien machinery, some still sparking faintly, others completely dormant. Occasionally, small defense drones would whir to life, their sensors scanning for movement. Jason was ready. His training had prepared him for the unknown, and he moved with quiet precision, guiding his team through the labyrinthine ruins. Hours passed as they navigated the building, avoiding traps and deactivated machines. The air was thick with tension. Even the most experienced soldiers felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on them. Some whispered that the container might not be a reward at all, that it could be a trap set for unwary humans. Jason ignored the doubts. He had a clear mind, focused on the mission. Finally, they reached a large chamber at the heart of the facility. In the center was the container, unlike anything Jason had seen before. It was smooth and tall, glowing faintly with energy pulses that seemed almost alive. Strange runes covered its surface, shifting subtly as if responding to their presence. The container's aura was calm, yet powerful, and Jason felt a strange sense of awe. He approached it slowly, his hand hovering over the surface. "This is it," he said softly. His squad gathered behind him, watching intently. There was a moment of silence heavy with anticipation. No one spoke. Jason took a deep breath and activated the opening sequence. The runes pulsed brighter, and a faint hum filled the chamber. Slowly, the container's lid slid open with a smooth, almost fluid motion. The air shimmered as if the opening released energy into the room. Jason's heart pounded. He expected machines, weapons, or advanced technology, but what he saw instead left him speechless. Inside lay a young alien woman. She was suspended in a glowing energy field, her body relaxed but her eyes open, intelligent and alert. Her skin shimmered with a faint metallic hue, and her hair flowed around her as if floating in water. Her features were elegant, almost otherworldly, and yet there was a warmth in her gaze that drew Jason in. The squad gasped, unable to hide their astonishment. "Private Lane," one of the newer members, whispered, Is she alive?" Jason nodded slowly. "Yes, she's alive, and she's waiting for us." The woman's eyes met Jason's, and a strange sensation passed through his mind. It was not a voice, but a thought, clear, direct, and calm. "You are the one who has found me." Jason froze. The squad looked at him in confusion. Mental communication was unheard of, yet here it was, undeniable. He could feel the intelligence behind her thoughts, her curiosity, and her trust. I can hear her," Jason said carefully, keeping his voice low. She's trying to communicate," the woman's thoughts continued. "I have waited for someone worthy, someone who has courage, wisdom, and honor. You have passed the test." Jason felt a mixture of wonder and responsibility. The woman had been waiting, not for a random rescuer, but for someone she could trust. His mind raced. What test had she meant? Who had placed her here? And why was humanity chosen to find her? The squad began to murmur among themselves, some in awe, some in fear. "Captain," Lane said, "what do we do now?" I don't know. She's not technology, not a weapon. She's human-like, but not human." Jason kept his focus. "We protect her. No one touches her unless I give the order. She's alive, and she's our mission now." He extended a hand toward her energy field. The field pulsed, then slowly dissipated, allowing the woman to rise gently from the container. She moved with grace, each step controlled and deliberate. Her eyes never left Jason's. She was not afraid, not aggressive. She was curious. "Are you okay?" Jason asked softly. The woman tilted her head as if studying him. "Yes, I am. Well, because you are here. You have found me. You are the one I awaited." The squad exchanged uneasy glances. Mental communication was one thing, but the intensity of the connection was unexpected. Jason felt a responsibility growing within him. This was more than a mission now. This was a life, a being who trusted him completely. "Captain, should we secure her and get out of here?" Lieutenant Ramos asked. He was practical, always focused on procedure. Jason nodded. "Yes, but carefully. She's not a threat. Let her follow us and no one engages unless I say so." The woman, who introduced herself through thought as Leora, followed quietly. She moved almost effortlessly through the ruins, avoiding debris and traps as if she understood the structure perfectly. Jason realized she had an intelligence and awareness beyond anything humanity had encountered. As they made their way back toward the extraction point, Leora shared fragments of her story. She was from a distant civilization, captured during a conflict and placed in stasis until someone of value could find her. Her people valued intelligence, honor, and courage, and she sensed these traits in Jason. The squad listened in awe. Some whispered to each other, amazed by the mental connection and the alien's knowledge. Jason remained calm, guiding them through the ruins, keeping them focused on the mission's objective, getting Leora safely off the planet. Hours passed, and the group faced unexpected challenges. Alien defense systems, long dormant, began activating, sensing the disturbance caused by the container's opening. Drones with advanced targeting systems appeared, scanning for intruders. Jason's team fought with precision, using both human ingenuity and quick thinking. Leora assisted silently, her abilities subtle but effective, disabling traps and redirecting drones without aggressive force. Through all this, Jason felt a growing bond with her. She trusted him, and he felt a responsibility not just to complete the mission but to protect her as a person. It was a connection that went beyond duty, beyond obligation. It was respect, admiration, and an understanding of the value of life. Finally, they reached a plateau overlooking the extraction point. A human shuttle waited, engines humming softly. Jason looked at Leora and she met his gaze, calm but expectant. He signaled for her to board and she moved gracefully, careful not to touch anything unnecessarily. The squad followed, and as they lifted off the planet, Jason allowed himself a moment to breathe. The mission had been a success, but the real journey was just beginning. Leora's presence raised questions that went beyond military orders. Her knowledge, her abilities, and the bond she shared with him promised to change everything Jason knew about humanity's place in the galaxy. As the shuttle soared into the stars, Jason thought about what awaited them. Leora was more than a reward. She was a bridge between worlds, a being who could teach humanity about courage, honor, and intelligence on a scale they had never known. And he realized, with both excitement and responsibility, that the coming days would test not only his skills as a soldier, but his ability to understand and protect a life unlike any other. Jason sat back, eyes on the glowing stars outside the shuttle window. Leora floated nearby, silent, observing, and he felt a strange sense of hope. Humanity had found something extraordinary, and he was at the center of it. The mission that had begun as a search for alien technology had become something far greater, a journey of discovery, trust, and the beginning of a bond that could change the galaxy. For the first time in a long time, Jason smiled. Whatever came next, he would face it with courage. He had opened the container and found more than a reward. He had found a new path, and it started with the alien woman who trusted him completely. The stars stretched endlessly outside the shuttle window, a silent reminder of how small Jason Mercer and his team were in the vast universe. Leora floated nearby, her eyes scanning the interior of the ship, curious and calm. Jason watched her carefully. Every movement she made seemed deliberate, filled with purpose and yet peaceful. There was no fear in her gaze, no aggression, only a quiet intelligence that fascinated him. The journey back to the human base was long. Jason used the time to ask her more questions, though communication remained in the form of mental connection. Words could not capture the subtlety of her thoughts, and speaking aloud seemed unnecessary. "Tell me about your people," he requested silently. "Why was I chosen?" Leora's thoughts flowed into his mind like a gentle river. "My people value courage, wisdom, and honor above all else. You have shown all three, not just through strength but through your decisions and restraint. You did not harm unnecessarily. You respected life even in the ruins of war. That is why you are worthy." Jason nodded, impressed. "And my people? How will they see you?" "Curiosity will drive them. Respect will follow." She paused as if choosing her words carefully. "I can teach them much, and they can teach you much in return. The galaxy has grown smaller because of trust, not fear." He felt a spark of hope. Humanity had fought many battles, won many wars, yet Jason knew that the galaxy was still dangerous. If humans could gain allies like Leora's people, it could change everything. But he also understood the responsibility. This was not simply about gaining knowledge or technology. It was about building trust between two very different civilizations. The shuttle's alarms suddenly chimed. Jason tensed, gripping the controls. "What is it?" Leora's thoughts flowed quickly. "Enemies. They track my energy signature. They want to take me back." Jason swore under his breath. He had anticipated some danger, but he had hoped the journey would be smooth. He activated the shuttle's defense systems. The ship shuddered as small missiles streaked past, intercepted by energy shields. Outside, distant figures moved against the backdrop of stars. Enemy fighters, sleek and deadly, closing in. "Everyone. Positions." Jason barked, his military training kicking in. The squad moved quickly, manning turrets and weapon systems. Leora floated calmly in the shuttle's center, her presence almost soothing despite the tension. The enemy fighters struck in waves, attempting to board the shuttle with magnetic grapplers. Jason maneuvered the ship expertly, dodging several of the attacks. Leora's mental presence guided him subtly, alerting him to blind spots, weak points in the enemy formation. Together they made a formidable team. One fighter collided with the shuttle's outer hull, sparks flying across the interior. Jason's team reacted instantly, neutralizing the intruders and sealing the breach. Leora extended her hand, and a faint pulse of energy flowed outward, disabling the remaining enemy drones without harming the pilots. Jason blinked. "That was incredible." "It is my gift," she replied mentally. "I use it to protect, not destroy. You are safe with me." The squad exchanged odd glances. Jason's heart swelled with pride. Not at their victory, but at the fact that humanity had found a being of such intelligence and moral balance. It was rare to encounter allies whose power was guided by wisdom rather than brute force. Hours passed in tense silence after the attack. The shuttle finally reached orbit around the human base. Jason guided it toward the landing bay, careful not to damage the craft or its precious cargo. Leora observed quietly, her gaze fixed on the sprawling human settlement below. She seemed impressed yet contemplative, as if analyzing every detail. Once the shuttle landed, a team of scientists and officers rushed to greet them. They had heard reports of unusual energy readings, but the true nature of Jason's discovery left them speechless. Leora stepped out of the shuttle, her movements elegant and precise. Cameras flashed, sensors scanned, and everyone watched as she floated lightly to the ground, unafraid, unarmed, and utterly composed. Jason briefed the base commander. "She is alive, intelligent, and willing to cooperate. She has knowledge that could advance humanity significantly, but she is not a tool. She is a life form that deserves respect." The commander studied him carefully, then nodded. "Understood, Captain. Secure her and make sure she is treated properly. We do not want to repeat past mistakes of underestimating alien intelligence." Leora turned to Jason, her eyes soft but intense. "Thank you. You have honored me, not just as a soldier, but as a human. That will be remembered." Over the next few days, Leora acclimated to the human environment. She studied human technology, shared insights into alien engineering, and offered strategies that could strengthen humanity's defenses. Jason spent time with her, learning more about her culture, her values, and her people's vision of the galaxy. She spoke of civilizations that thrived not through conquest, but through cooperation and knowledge. One evening, Jason and Leora stood on the observation deck, overlooking the base. Stars glittered like diamonds against the black expanse of space. Jason felt a sense of peace he had not known in years. "Do you trust me?" he asked mentally. "Yes," she replied. More than anyone else I have encountered, you understand honor, compassion, and duty. You act not out of fear or desire for power, but from responsibility and care." Jason smiled faintly. He had seen countless battles, faced unimaginable dangers, and yet this felt different. This was not about strategy or survival. It was about connection, trust, and the potential to change the galaxy for the better. The peace did not last long. Intelligence reports indicated that enemy forces had located the base and were moving to capture Leora. Jason and the command team prepared immediately. Defenses were strengthened, weapons deployed, and strategies planned. Jason, of course, was at the center of it all, ready to protect the alien woman who had become more than a mission objective. She was a symbol of humanity's potential, of what they could achieve when courage and morality guided their actions. The attack came at dawn. Alien fighters swept through the atmosphere, sleek and deadly, attempting to breach the base's outer defenses. Jason led his squad with precision, coordinating with human pilots, drone operators, and Leora herself. She used her abilities to manipulate energy fields, creating shields disabling enemy craft and guiding humans to safety. The battle was intense, but humanity's combined strategy, Jason's leadership, and Leora's unique abilities turned the tide. One by one, enemy craft were neutralized or forced to retreat. Jason felt exhilaration, not at the destruction of foes, but at the demonstration of cooperation and resilience. Humanity had faced a threat that seemed impossible, yet they had prevailed. After the battle, the base was quiet, save for the hum of machinery and the distant chatter of personnel. Jason and Leora walked through the aftermath, observing the repairs and the recovery efforts. She touched a damaged wall, her energy pulse gently repairing minor structural issues. Jason watched, amazed. "Your people truly are advanced," he said mentally. "Knowledge is meant to protect, not dominate," she replied. "That is why I work with you." Days later, Leora presented Jason with a gift, a small, crystalline device that contained data and technology capable of advancing human engineering and exploration. It was a symbol of trust and gratitude, but Jason understood that the true gift was not technology. It was the bond they had formed, a bridge between humans and a civilization far older and wiser than their own. As he held the device, Jason reflected on the journey. He had begun this mission expecting a reward of material value. Instead, he had found something far greater: trust, knowledge, and the opportunity to change the galaxy alongside an ally who valued honor and compassion above all else. Leora's gaze met his, and he felt a sense of completion. "This is only the beginning," she communicated mentally. "Together we can ensure that humanity is prepared, respected, and capable of forging a better future." Jason nodded, understanding the weight of her words. He knew that challenges would come, that dangers would rise, but he felt ready. Humanity had faced the unknown before and emerged stronger. Now with Leora by his side, they could reach further, learn faster, and prove that courage, intelligence, and honor were the greatest rewards of all. He looked out at the stars once more. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and threats, but also filled with possibilities. For the first time, Jason felt that humanity was not merely surviving. They were stepping into their destiny, capable of greatness when guided by wisdom and courage. And in the center of it all was the alien woman he had discovered, the reward he never expected, and the beginning of a journey that would change the future forever. As the sun rose over the planet, casting light across the human base, Jason realized that some rewards were more than objects or prizes. They were moments, connections, and the chance to shape a future where humanity could thrive among the stars. Leora's presence was proof of that, and as he stood beside her, ready to face whatever came next, he knew that together they could meet the universe with courage, honor, and hope.